Seen this video so many times.
It's recording our words, so don't say anything you're not supposed to.
Interesting.
So I was at a bar on a Saturday night on Lower Greenville and bumped into someone, and after having a conversation with them, I said, "What are you doing this weekend?" They said, "Well, tomorrow we're going to go check out this church called Watermark." And so I said, "Great, pick me up."
I grew up in a Hindu home, was just kind of tired of living life my way, and I came to the porch.
I sat in the back row. I saw this guy who spoke truth boldly and courageously. Every Sunday I went back and I would sit in the back row. My clothes smelled like smoke. I was often hungover, wearing the same clothes from the night before. And I just kept hearing the gospel and eventually just came to this idea that I do believe there's a God, but who is he?
One of my friends spent every Saturday just talking to me about how Christ died on the cross so that I could have a relationship with the one true creator.
And I kept coming back to the character and the nature of Jesus and just the teachings and through the teachings of Watermark. And so surrender my life to that truth, just an understanding that Jesus Christ had died for my sins. I got plugged in here, started going to community group. The way that I dated changed. The friends that I hung out with changed. What I did for fun changed.
It was really just the concept of, wow, he loves me so much that he humbled himself and became man, and he died for me, where he's God and all-powerful, and no Hindu god's done anything like that.
God has come in my life and turned it upside down, making a disciple out of me and calling me to make disciples. Thanks for making room for me.
Thanks for making room for me.
Thanks for making room for us.
Thanks for making room for me.
I accepted Christ into my life when I was about 14 years old. Because of my upbringing, I thought that although I accepted him, my sin would send me right to hell.
I lost my only brother to cancer, and all of my friends knew what to say. He's in a better place. He's not suffering anymore. 10 months after that, I lost my father to cancer, and all of my friends said the same thing, only with less conviction. Then 4 years from the death of my brother, I lost my mother after a very long battle with cancer, and my friends looked at me and said, "We don't know what God is doing."
I met someone named Tracy Lau. She showed me so much love and guidance, directing me to regeneration, so that I can learn that God can heal me and to stop trying to repair myself.
So I came to Watermark visiting with a friend, and I looked up on the big screen and I saw a grief share picture. So I went.
We've received so much love and compassion from Watermark. It's made me want to obey him, not because of my fear, but because of his love for me.
Through the process of learning how to grieve appropriately, I learned that life never gets back to normal. There's a new normal. But mostly what I found was that God still had a purpose for me, and it wasn't just taking care of sick family members anymore. He had not orphaned me. He had not abandoned me. I wasn't alone.
Thanks for making room for us.
Thanks for making room for me.
Thanks for making room for me.
Thanks for making room for me.
I was depressed. I, couldn't stop drinking. We were isolated and just didn't have a church family.
Veronica actually worked here for Rick Wisner, and
On the community team.
Church we came out of, we thought if you didn't go there, you weren't going to make it to heaven.
We came to Watermark. I remember Todd preaching a message and started to see that I was just another guy with issues.
a lot of people see behind the scenes of a church and it really turns them off, but it was really the opposite for us. We saw just how people were cared for here and how things were run, and just a real kind of adherence to do things biblically.
Before Jennifer and I started coming to Watermark, her brother and this is the part that always gets me. Our brother and sister-in-law just have been praying for us for a number of years, although we had judged them for years for being here because we didn't think they were doing it right in God's way. And when I found out that they had been praying for us through all the judgment they had received, it just broke my heart. And it was just, it was a little taste of grace that God gives. And it was wonderful.
The men's and women's Bible studies we've been a part of and led, the Nest, the Building
Square
Blocks,
One.
Square One, Summit, just again have been an incredible blessing to us over the last 6 years. And so I keep saying the last 6 years because we're moving, and just wanted to say thanks.
Haven't had anything to drink for 8 months, and just are a really good example that following Christ and not being in isolation and get around good Christian people is really, really helpful.
I've appreciated all of the steps that you've taken. It's helped me to grow as an individual myself.
We've got a really good model of what we're going to look for in our next church, but also we're really equipped to contribute to that church wherever it is. just because of the experience we've had at Watermark.
It took almost a year and a half to really understand what Christ had done for us, and it changed our lives once we did.
Thanks for making room for us.
Thank you for making room for me.
Thanks for making room for me.
Thanks for making room for me.
Thanks for making room for me.
Thank you for making room for us.
Thanks for making room for us.